You know what got it for me, and I'm just starting it off just like that. Because I was sitting there thinking, I said I'm gonna video record this because I was meditating on Matthew 22. When somebody asked Jesus about what's the greatest commandment, because they was trying to trick him up on the 613 laws, and Jesus says, "Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind." Then he says, "This is the greatest commandment. This is the first and greatest commandment." Then he says, verse 37, he says, "And the second one is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbors as thyself," right? Most of the time when you hear that being preached in a verse, in a sermon or whatnot, it's always about the neighbor, or God, loving God. Now that's the first and greatest commandment, right? But he said the second one is like unto it. He said it's exactly like it. He said, love your neighbors as you love yourself. So if what we're supposed to do is the same, so we're supposed to love ourselves with all of our heart, right? With all of our soul and with all of our mind, right? And so if we can't wrap that around about ourselves, we can't even project that to anybody else. So you almost have to start all over, right? To the first and greatest commandment is to love God. So as you get to know who God is by the reading of his word, right? And getting revelation knowledge of his word, right? Then you will start to see him, appreciate him, and love him for who he is and his creations. And you're one of his creations. Now, this is where the honesty part has to start popping in at, right? You have to start looking in the mirror and be honest with you, where you came from, how you grew up, things that impacted you, those things that you do that you shouldn't do. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about telling nobody else. This is your battle. Why? Because you have the Holy Spirit growing and waiting for you on the inside to guide and teach you into all truth. They will reveal things that happened when you was a kid. All that, the Holy Spirit is here. He is part of the triune, the Trinity of God. So the Holy Spirit is who we use. So we have to stop skipping over him like he's some external when he's internal. So that's where we at. We have to start loving ourselves personally. We have to look in the mirror and we have to start saying, okay, my mind. Let me get my mind right? My soul, right? And the soul encapsulates your mind, your will, your emotion, your reasoning. And, so you have to get in your emotions. You have to get all those things under control, right? Then your mind, right? Your heart is one thing. Like, you got to forgive, right? Somebody did something against you. Hey, the word says to forgive, right? So you got to forgive and put that person in that place, because if they don't change, they're going to do the same thing over again. So to keep you down from, revisiting that, you just have to distance yourself. So that's it. I think I'm emptied on that. So, all right. Peace.